It is Thursday, August 21st, 2025, and it is the final conference preview of the 2025 preseason, meaning we are 2 days away from kickoff of the 2025 season. Make sure you stick around, tune in. Make sure you subscribe if you're new, by the way. Trying to hit 200 subscribers by the time Saturday rolls around. I don't know where we're going to be by this time, but I know that we are at 184 as of the time of me recording this video. So make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all, again, like, subscribe, comment down below. And we got some good stuff tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to do my ultimate college football road trip, which is my favorite, or what games, if money were no object, what games would I go to every week throughout the course of the 2025 season? I would make a road trip out of it. That's coming tomorrow. Also on docket tomorrow is my Take 10, my first of the season, where we'll do some previews, some win totals, some game picks, and we'll even preview Kansas State and Iowa State tomorrow as well. So really excited for that. Make sure y'all tune in. Make sure y'all stick around. And yeah, with that said, let's go ahead and talk SEC conference predictions. Because in order for me to talk about my playoff predictions, I have to have you guys at least know what I think of the SEC first. I think that's the right way to do it. So with that said, we move on, and let's go talk about the SEC real quick. I give you my names to watch, my player of the year, coach of the year, conference championship predictions. You'll see all that here. So, names to watch. We start with Alabama, and I'm looking at running back Jam Miller. It's a big deal because he's injured. He's going to miss Florida State, at least that's the expectation. Is he going to miss more than just Florida State? And if so, how much of an impact does that have on this team? I think that it has a bigger impact than people are willing to admit. Jam Miller is I think he's going to be one of the centerpieces of this offense. And if he's not able to go early in the year, it could pose a bit of a problem. So, yeah, Jam Miller is my player for Alabama. At Arkansas, I'm looking at quarterback Taylor Green. Sorry. Look, he came in and was really good last year. I think he's going to be good again this year. Replacing pretty much entirety of his wide receiver room is a big deal. It was hard to go quarterback so early, but I think Taylor Green's a worthwhile pick there. At Auburn, I'm looking at wide receiver Eric Singleton Jr., transferred in from Georgia Tech. He's going to be a big-time playmaker for this team. But on top of that, I think that he's going to be a great counterpart to Cam Coleman. I'm excited for Jackson Arnold. I'm excited for this Auburn team. I think they're going to be solid this year. I don't know about good. I don't know if they're going to compete for the conference title, but I do think that they have some potential with her. At Florida, I'm looking at wide receiver J. Michael Sturdivant. I think he's going to break out this year. He's finally got a quarterback, I think, this year. Can be a bit of a downfield threat and can pose a bit of a threat with everybody else on this offense as well. They're going to be a good team. Florida, I'm very high on this year, and I certainly don't see fault in why. At Georgia, I'm looking at running back Josh McCray. Transferring in from Illinois, was a big-time playmaker last year for the Fighting Illini. Can be a big-time playmaker and a big-time difference maker in the running game this year for Georgia, which is something they really put some effort towards fixing and getting better. Josh McCray is my pick here. At Kentucky, I'm looking at defensive tackle David Gusta coming over from Washington State. I think he's going to be a big-time difference maker in the middle in the run game. This Kentucky defensive line's looking for a little bit of help. They're replacing a lot. Having a big name transfer like this come in, I think, is going to really help them out. At LSU, I'm looking at Harold Perkins. He tore his ACL last year. Didn't really get a chance to play a whole lot, and I think that kind of hindered what they could be. And I want to get it correct because I believe UCLA was early in the year, but I honestly don't remember, which is sad, but that's part of life, I guess, is to forget a couple things here and there. I'm sorry. UCLA was week 4. So tore his ACL in week 4, the week after South Carolina, but he didn't really he made a bit of a difference, but he wasn't anything crazy. And really, we haven't seen the 2022 Harold Perkins yet. But he's going to be playing the star position, which is going to be a safety linebacker hybrid. They're trying to utilize his athleticism. Blake Baker has a really big thing that he thinks that this can work out. I'm going to buy into it because I think it can. But what I will say is that I don't want to see them go away from him being a weapon in the pass rush too, which it sounds like he's not. Harold Perkins, I think, is the biggest key to this defense and how good they can really be. This LSU team, I think, is going to be really good this year. At Mississippi State, I'm looking at running back Fluff Bothwell, transferred in from South Alabama. They're excited about him, and certainly should be. They don't really have a lot to look forward to on the running or in the passing game. They like their quarterback, which is, of course, Blake Shapen, formerly of Baylor. But they do want to see more out of this offense, and I think they certainly can, especially if they can get a run game going, which is a big miss for them last year. Fluff Bothwell, I think, is going to make a difference for them. At Missouri, I'm looking at linebacker Josiah Trotter, transferring in from West Virginia. He's going to be part of what was a really good portal haul on that side of the ball. But I think the offense is going to need the defensive help. So I'm going to take Josiah Trotter in Missouri. Not sure where I left off. I had a phone call I had to take, but I believe I left off in Missouri, Josiah Trotter. Again, really high on him. High on the Missouri defense this year. I think they'll be pretty solid. At Oklahoma, I'm looking at running back Jaden Ott. Everybody's talking about John Mateer in this wide receiver room, but Jaden Ott, I think, is going to be a guy who really steps up and makes some big plays and big moments. Oklahoma's a team that I think we should all be really excited for or really high on this year. Ole Miss, I'm looking at safety Sage Ryan, transferred in from LSU. I think that his experience is going to be a big deal because they're kind of missing it. They're kind of lacking on the defensive side of the ball and experience. Doesn't mean they won't be good. Doesn't mean they can't be good. It's just kind of the vibe I'm getting. But I think Sage Ryan brings a level of leadership and knowledge of the game, especially the SEC level, again, coming from LSU, that he can, I think, be a player that we look for and really talk about over the course of the year for the Rebels defense. At South Carolina, I'm looking at wide receiver Nick Harbor. He really started to figure it out last year. And, genuinely started to figure it out. Was running better routes, was catching the ball better, was being able to utilize his size and truly play the position the way I think he can or has the potential to. And to include, he still has the speed. He's still a track star. He just didn't focus on track all offseason this year. Gave that up to focus on football to get better at it. And I think the sky's the limit for what he might be able to do this year. With a full season, a full offseason even of training, Nick Harbor is a guy that I think we should really be watching when we talk about South Carolina. We talk about a wide receiver room that we don't know a lot about. I think that's false. I think we know a good amount. We've seen a lot of these players already. But a wide receiver room that would be led by Nick Harbor, as we expected a few years ago, certainly has some potential. Tennessee, I got tight end Miles Kitselman. I think he's going to be a really good player. A big safety valve for Joey Aguilar, who's been announced as a starter for this team. Tennessee is not a team that I think is going to be able to outduel you offensively, but I think that if they can play smart, run the ball a little better, and they're going to utilize Aguilar to do so, but utilize their tight end, get the checkdowns, play some ball control, they might be able to pull off a win or two that we just don't expect, because I think the defense is going to be good. Texas, I'm looking at wide receiver Ryan Wingo. I think he's going to break out this year and really become the star we expected him to be. And granted, it's not like he's behind schedule. He was a freshman last year. Let's not act like just because Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams came out and played the way they did, doesn't mean guys like Josiah Trader and Ryan Wingo are just behind the curve. Ryan Wingo is going to be good this year. I'm really excited for what he can be. I think the Archman is going to have a favorite target pretty early. At Vanderbilt, I'm looking at tight end Eli Stowers. Best tight end in the country, plain and simple, and he's going to continue to probably play at that level. Just have some high expectations for what he can be and what he brings to this team. The Vandy's not a team I'm high on. I think that they're going to be found out. Their triple option or pseudo triple option style is going to be figured out at some point, and eventually the talent just can't compete. So I have Eli Stowers as the guy there. As for my predictions and my standings for this conference, I have Georgia winning the regular season via tiebreaker over Texas, but Georgia losing to Florida. That's their loss on the season, being 11-1. Texas at 11-1, losing to Georgia. LSU at 10-2, but 7-1 in conference. I can't remember what I predicted them to lose to, but if I were to guess, I have them losing to Florida, but I could be wrong in that. Let me see if I can go back and find the LSU prediction that I did. I don't mean to waste a bunch of time because I know time is valuable. But I can find it pretty easy, I think, here. I'm losing to Texas A&M actually. So okay. But yeah, LSU number 3. Florida 10-2, 6-2, losing to um, if I'm not mistaken, I know LSU is one of them. I think the other one ends up being it's not Georgia because I have them beating Georgia. I think the other one might be A&M too. If I'm looking at it, or no, it's Texas. It's obviously Texas. So losing to LSU to Texas. Um, South Carolina 9-3, 6-2. Oklahoma 9-3, 5-3. Texas A&M 8-4. I think they were 5-3. Alabama and Tennessee both at 8-4, 4-4. Auburn 7-5 but 4-4. Ole Miss ends up falling off. I have them below 500. Old Missouri I have below 500. Kentucky, Arkansas, Vanderbilt, Mississippi State, all 4 of them not really being competitive. With that said, in my conference championship, I'm predicting Texas to win over Georgia. I have Garrett Nussmeier as my player of the year in the conference and Billy Napier as my coach of the year in the conference. Really, really content about that prediction there. If you saw my Heisman predictions, you know that out of this conference I have Lenore Sellers and DJ Lagway being guys who are in New York for the Heisman Trophy presentation. So with that said, that does it for my SEC predictions and my conference predictions. If you didn't see any of the other ones, make sure you go back and check those out. Let me know what you agree with, disagree with. I'm here. I'm all ears. Look, I've had plenty of people let me know where I was wrong. I've had plenty of people let me know where they thought I was right, and I don't mind. I like the conversation. So I ask that you leave a like, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you guys think again, and again, subscribe. We're trying to hit 200. We're 16 away at the time of me recording this. We're trying to hit 200 by week 0. I still think we can do it. I still think we can. So I ask that you guys help us out. Thank you so much for tuning in. And with that said, let's go ahead and talk college football playoff preview. Now I'm going to give you guys my college football playoff teams right here. I have Clemson as number 1. I have them at 13-0. There's no question to me that they will be in the playoff. Texas at number 2 with their conference championship, they get up to 2. Penn State at 3, Notre Dame at 4. Surprisingly, we do not see a second of any conference team, or a second team from any conference being in that top 4 getting the bye with the new look of the playoff. But what we do get is Notre Dame where they couldn't have been before. So keep in mind, this is ranked in order of 1 to 12 in the playoff ranking, or 1 to whatever in the playoff ranking, in the case of Boise State, with 5 conference champions still getting in, but it's ranked in order of how you're ranked by the playoff committee. Clemson gets number 1, Texas at 2, Penn State 3, Notre Dame 4. Those are the 4 bye teams. At number 5, I got Georgia. They'll face Boise in Athens for a home playoff game. Baylor will host LSU in Waco for a home playoff game. Oregon hosts Ohio State for a playoff game. They'll meet once again in the college football playoff. That'll be the 2nd year in a row. Michigan will face Florida, and that feels like it happened a lot in the mid 2010s. It's going to happen again here, Michigan and Florida in the playoffs. As for what I think the playoffs will shape out and look like, well, that's here on your screen now. I think Clemson ultimately wins the college football playoff championship. I think they will beat Texas to do so. I'm excited for this game. That's a rematch from the playoffs last year, the 5-12. I have Georgia beating Boise, obviously, to get to the 2nd round. I think that Notre Dame, their seeding is wrong, but they are the 4 seed that will be facing Clemson in the semifinals. Texas and Florida will face off in the other semifinal. LSU beats Baylor to face Clemson. Ohio State beats Oregon to face Texas. And Florida beats Michigan to face Penn State, where they will also beat Penn State and be the Cinderella team in this college football playoff. Again, I have Clemson winning it all. I think they are the best team in college football. I put them at number 1 for a reason. I'm gonna stick to it. I'm gonna go with this until that's either gonna fail or I'm gonna be right, one or the other. So, with that said, let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with my playoff predictions? Do you not? What would you change? Love hearing all that feedback down below in the comments, and love conversing back and forth with you guys. Again, if you're new around here, I ask you subscribe, leave a like, and I thank y'all for tuning in. Hope y'all have a good rest of your day. Tomorrow we will have my favorite segment, my college football road trip. If I could pick any game with no money, with money being no object, what games would I go to from every single week in the college football season? What games would I go to, and what would I pick as preseason? What games would I choose? Um, just excited for it. I think it's a lot of fun. It really gets people talking, and conversing back and forth about what games they like or what games they would consider. Um, Tomorrow as well, we'll get my first edition of Take 10 in 2025. I'm excited for that. We got plenty to talk about there, plenty to go over. And then, of course, on Saturday, we'll be live for a little bit, Saturday morning, previewing the big game of the day, of course, Kansas State and Iowa State. We'll also be talking about every other game because we don't front run around here. We're not front runners. We will talk about everybody at any given time. Sunday, we'll be back with a recap show. It'll be about 30 minutes, probably a 30-minute preview show, a 30-minute recap show, just getting you guys warmed up for what it will be like. Because next Saturday and Sunday, week 1, we will have a full-on preview show about 10 a.m. all the way through noon. Maybe 11:30 is when we'll cut off, about an hour and a half. Talking about everything we can that's coming up and everything that we've seen so far in the week. We will do that again on Sunday, recapping everything about an hour and a half. And then we'll talk about everything that happens on Sunday and Monday and subsequent shows. So just appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank y'all so much. And with that said, we'll see you guys tomorrow with the first Take 10 of the year, the first Friday of the college football season. Thank y'all for tuning in.